Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Well, Britain's exit from the European Union has dominated the news in the last few days. And I think it's very important that we recognize why this has taken place and see the relevance for our own coming election. The Brits were concerned about immigration, basically, and what that was going to do. That was how that was going to shape their future. Let me read what one writer says. Immigration and what it, together with multiculturalism, have done to Britain in incrementally unraveling its very special place in history, overrode the arguments in favor of remaining in the EU. The policy of multiculturalism, that's saying that all cultures are equal, that our culture in the United States is equivalent and no better or no worse than a Sharia-led culture in a Muslim world. That's nonsense. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's heresy. He says the policy of multiculturalism based on the spurious idea that cultures are equal and therefore deserving of equal respect and treatment. In effect, this means that the liberal democratic culture of the host country, in this case Britain, since multiculturalism as a policy or doctrine is non-existent outside the West, is equal to or no better than non-liberal and illiberal cultures of non-Western societies. Hence, multiculturalism is one of the most insidious assaults on liberal democracy based on the hard-won principle of individual rights and freedoms. Multiculturalism. It was a basic determining factor in the Brexit, and it will be a basic determining factor in the election that we're facing in November. But here in the Jerusalem Connection, we're interested in how this might affect Israel. One writer says Israel, a non-EU country, has an Israel-EU associate agreement in force since 2000. It began with a series of the free movement of capital. It didn't take long for this agreement to expand to include the free trade of industrial and later agricultural products. More recently, the demand for Israel technology led Israel to being invited into the Horizon 2020 program of research and innovation in 2014. This led to 32 billion euro trades in goods between EU and Israel at the end of 2015. So Israel has done well in some circumstances with regard to its relationship to the European Union. Notice what else one writer says. The European Union, as long as the European Union continues its brazen, illegal building for Arabs on Israeli state-owned land, it remains an adversary to the state of Israel. The less funds it has at its disposal, the better Israel's chances for halting this outrageous practice. Certainly, the loss of the UK's funds from its coffers will have a significant impact on their ability to fund its anti-Semitic actions. He goes on to say the European Union should immediately stop its illegal building on Israeli land, stop funding anti-Israel NGOs, non-government organizations, and allowing European taxpayers' money to bankrupt Palestinian terrorists. Yes, that's what's happened. Above all, it's time that the EU focus on its own problems and cease its unhealthy anti-Semitic obsession with Israel. The EU has been very hard on Israel with regard to its settlements and claiming that Israel is an occupation, quote, power. It's nonsense. It totally disregards the covenants that God has made with Israel. One writer says this in closing: the future is not a vast behemoth of global government that swallows up nations and individuals, that reduces democratic elections to a joke and eliminates freedom of speech. The elites have gambled everything on big government, big media, big data, but all of those lost to Brexit. Where does that leave us? Jesus said this, and I think it's very relevant for us today. When asked what would be the sign of his coming and the end of the days, he said this, and the first shot out of the box, this is what he says: watch out that no one deceives you. No one deceives you. Deception has metastasized into every conceivable corner of our culture, not only in this land but in the world, and especially in politics and foreign policy. Deception prevails. It's prominent. That's what Jesus said, and will be till he comes. He says, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah. I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You'll hear wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you're not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. These things must happen. The end is not here yet. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pangs. But the end is not here. I think we are in the birth pangs right now. And I think the election that we face and the decision that Israel makes in the future with regard to the European Union will determine the extent to which we are involved in the birth pangs. The next week, Ode Key of Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you, bless those you love, and bless those who love you.